Now going over to the business blunder of the day, you have Fisker EV manufacturer. Their stock crashes by about 20%. That's quite a big dip after they disclosed a quote-unquote material weakness in the financial reporting, and they had lower than expected deliveries. Now specifically, it looks like it sank about 18%. And this is thanks to an article on CNBC by John Rosenberg. And it looks like the stock closed about $3.34 per share, which is literally less than a cup of coffee, or more accurately, a cup of candy bar in a cup if you're going to a large coffee chain. But pulling up their overall stock trend, what's that trend looking like? So in the past 5 years, it's down 66%. In the past year, it's down 62%. Year to date, down negative 53%. In the past 6 months, is down 48.73%. Past 1 month, down 48%. 5 day, down 20%. So the overall trend is not great, with the current market cap at only $1 billion, which is a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but compared to other automotive manufacturers, that's very, very small. And their 52-week low is actually $3.11, 52-week high, $8.69 per share. And there's no dividend yield because they don't pay dividends, unfortunately. Now, looks like, in terms of getting back to the material weakness, Fisker noted a quote-unquote material weakness will be discussed in detail in its upcoming 10Q report, and Gupta Fisker said that the company is actively hiring additional financial experts. It didn't say when investors can expect the 10Q to be filed. And again, in terms of their CFO recently leaving, so that's not good because a lot of uncertainty. It usually is a sign, or many people perceive it as a sign of instability. And again, investors do not like uncertainty. It's one of the things that is detriment to the current economy. Is a lot of businesses, they just don't know what's going to happen from a political standpoint, from a geopolitical standpoint. They don't know if they're going to be regulated out of business. They don't know if the taxes are going to go up exponentially to kneecap their businesses even more. The uncertainty is what is really bringing down the economy to a standstill, or slowing it down exponentially. And again, it looks like when asked for additional comment, you have the Mr. Gupta Fisher saying that the third quarter was, quote, highly complex because of the company's global ramp up. And the good news is the company's failed a couple times before. They're probably first come to prominence when they had Justin Bieber drive around his little Fisker Karma, which a little bit too cliche of a name if you ask me. But nevertheless, that was really what drew them to fame, and they were manufacturing everything in-house. Now, which again, that was a very difficult thing. There's a lot of complexities in that. It's a huge feat to actually do that successfully as a business. So now they're actually working with a third party, who this third party is actually the one who manufactures the cars for Fisker. So Fisker is still involved, obviously, but they're more involved in the actual engineering and the design of the vehicles, and someone else is actually manufacturing it, like an OEM relationship. So that is what's been helping them out lately. And they're still, unfortunately, in terms of their fleet averages and their overall losses on the vehicles, I mean, they're not delivering as many as they were hoping. So they also noted that they only delivered about 1,100 Ocean electric SUVs in the third quarter, but they claim that deliveries have accelerated since the quarter end, with over 1,200 Oceans delivered in October and, quote-unquote, hundreds more en route to customers right now. Which, again, what are your thoughts on marketing? Do you think it's good to have vehicles that are named Karma, Ocean? I mean, why not just go for the cliche elements? Go earth, fire, wind, all that kind of stuff? I mean, I suppose I appreciate it more because it's moderately more creative than just coming out with numbers for every vehicle, which I understand the logic in terms of numbers. You don't have to worry about translation between different countries and languages, and you can build more loyalty to the specific brand, not the model. But still, call me an old soul, but I prefer when cars have cool, unique names that are different. Although it kind of is soul crushing when you have the iconic Chevy Camaro go from a two-door muscle car with a stick shift and V8 to now becoming a EV SUV. How times have been changing. Can't help but think that'll blow up in their face like a Chevy Bolt when they burst into flames. Ha! As a recall joke, because GM had a couple recalls in regard to that vehicle. Now, it'll be interesting to see in regard to the company that's working with them. The manufacturer is the Magna International. They're the ones actually building these specifically. and they built 4,273 Oceans in the third quarter. But again, they only delivered a little over 1,000. So when asked for comment, Mr. Henrik Fisker, a good CEO currently, said, quote, "We are rapidly scaling our delivery infrastructure to support even higher volumes of deliveries of our class-leading product to our loyal customers," unquote. He additionally said, quote, "We are gaining momentum and delivered more units in the month of October than all of the third quarter," unquote. So it'll be interesting to see how they can do the long term. I mean, every EV manufacturer is coming out with an SUV. That's a growing category in the EV community and the automotive community. I mean, it's huge. Porsche, which I kind of die a little inside when I hear this, they actually sell more SUVs than anything else, which I understand from a business perspective. That's what gives them profits. That's why they can afford to make some of these awesome vehicles like the Porsche 911 GTS, XY Banana Falcon. Whatever the model number is, I appreciate a Porsche with a stick shift. I wish they still made the SUV with a stick shift. That'd be iconic and legendary. However, they only did that for a couple of years. So in the rare instances when you can find them, they're priced more than a new vehicle and usually have 100,000 miles. Though, if I won the lottery or exponentially grew in wealth, I would probably hunt down one of those vintage. I say vintage. I think it was a 2008 Porsche. It was like Cayenne GTS. There's a V8 with a stick shift SUV. I mean, that's just legendary cool. But nevertheless, it'll be interesting to see in regard to Fisker, how are they going to compete? I mean, in terms of the kind of the fiscal results, their net loss for the third quarter was $91 million, or 27 cents per share, which is wider than expected. Wall Street, actually, analysts were saying they're estimating to lose 19 cents per share. Revenue for the period was $71.8 million, while Wall Street was expecting a revenue of $109 million. Let's see here. A year ago, Fisker reported a net loss of $149.3 million in revenue, or 49 cents per share, and a revenue of about $14,000. Now, Fisker had $625 million in cash and cash equivalents as of September 30th versus $521.8 million as of June 30th. Now, that's kind of good news and bad news because the EV manufacturer raised an additional $300 million via a convertible note offering in July and another $150 million in September. So again, that depending on when that converts and how that happens, a lot of analysts are concerned that may decrease the value of the stock. Saw the same thing with Rivian when they increased their amount of cash on hand and their cash reserves with a similar mechanism. So it'll be interesting to see as they continue to struggle and try to make their name and really gain some real market share in the automotive EV community. But again, I mean, missing those numbers and having your stock crash by nearly 20%, that's a huge red flag for a lot of investors and prospective investors. And to not have your finances together and all your financial executives lined up to deliver a report in time, that's just got to be the business blunder of the day. Thank you again, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Don't forget to take the time to like and subscribe and comment. Trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of November, so you click that button. I greatly appreciate it. Also, the comments and the feedback are greatly appreciated because that's how to make the show better and better and improve. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.